Hey friends, I believe I am live as of right now. So hopefully you can see the board that I put over here. This board should have all the info that you need about today's flow. So it has my handle for Apple Music, and I'm at Yogi DLT, the same as my Instagram handle, so it's easy to find me. And the playlist I was recommending that I made under Apple Music is called Yoga BSY 21. So it's Yoga BSY 21. I have all my yoga playlists public on there, easy to find. So grab yourself your mat, some water, maybe a block if you want it, or a cookbook or whatever you're gonna use as a block, a pillow, anything you got around that's gonna work for this and to support you in your practice. And then we'll get started in just a moment. Sorry, my sofa's a little disheveled from my dog. She thinks she owns this sofa, and so she rips off all the blankets and pillows and everything, and I make it look nice, and then she just comes through, and you know how dogs are. They think they own the couch if you let them on it once. So grab yourself. Let's get ready in just a couple minutes. Getting started in just a minute. I wish I could play music for you guys, but YouTube's kind of strict about that stuff, so I'm not gonna play any music right now. Zozo, you want to come here? Come here. I'll have you guys see my fur baby, but just in case she walks through a shot later on, this is Miss Zozo. Come here. Come here. Although she kind of does her own thing. Are you part dog or are you part cat, ma'am? I took off her collar so she starts shaking during Shavasana. You guys won't hear her. I've learned that mistake the hard way. And she'll probably be lounging and loafing on the sofa at some point, guaranteed, during practice, because she's the queen of loafing on the sofa, huh, Miss Zozo? Already loafing. You're an expert at Sphinx pose, is what it looks like, Missy. She's great at Sphinx pose. She's really good at down dog. What else are you good at? Three-legged dog. She likes to stretch that last little leg in the mornings. All right, you. Here, take your bone. Come on. There you go. All right, guys, we'll get started here in a couple minutes. This in bloom flow is definitely inspired by spring. It's a beautiful time of year right now. We got all these bits of new life popping up everywhere in plants, in animal life. I know I've been seeing a lot of baby horses. I live near a little farm that has these adorable little horses, and they have little babies, little foals out there, and it's so sweet to see that. It's really nice this time of year to get to see all that new life. I don't know if it's been 4 minutes. Okay, thanks. Thank you. All right. So if you want to get the playlist again, my handle's at Yogi DLT. That's my Instagram and my Apple Music handle. And the playlist I recommend for today is Yoga BSY 21. It's an hour long playlist. It's 59 minutes, an hour pretty much. And yeah, in bloom. We're gonna work on some strong growth poses to work on our practice for growth and balance and strengthening ourselves and building ourselves up, but we're also going to work on remembering those roots and remembering the basic parts of our practice and the root of ourselves, right? The root of who we are, and why we practice yoga. Because right now, more than ever, might be asking yourself, why do I practice yoga? Or remembering why you practice yoga. And so that's a beautiful thing to be reminded of. So feel free to find this playlist. It's got some good ones on it. I personally am a huge favorite of this playlist. I think it's a fun one. But, you can also turn on your own playlist for an hour. There's tons of awesome yoga playlists out there in the world, you guys. And sometimes it's nice to make a meaningful playlist that's just for you. Might have a song in there that's really empowering to you. So I'm practicing on the rug area of my TV area, living room, whatever you wanna call it, of my house. Just because I know that a lot of us don't have, like, a traditional area to practice in. We might be practicing in a bedroom. We might not have a yoga mat. We might be on, like, the rug or the carpet or whatever, and so that's kinda what I'm doing here too, because I know when I'm practicing at home, I have tile floors, and yeah, I can practice on a mat. It's not nearly as comfortable though as this nice rug or going down to my bedroom where it's carpeted. My bedroom's just not as cute as like this adorable pink door back here, and my living area. So, and I can't guarantee my bed is made because my dog probably went and made it look just as crazy as the sofa was looking. My dog pretty much is just the queen of the house, guys. She lives literally everywhere in the house. The sofa's hers, my bed is hers. Even though she knows the bed is technically not hers, she still thinks it's hers. So, fun times. All right, we're coming up on pretty much the time to get started. So yeah, thanks for joining me. I'm Christine. My Insta handle and Apple Music handle is Yogi DLT. We're doing this in Bloom Flow. I'm on Apple Music, and the playlist I was recommending today is Yoga BSY 21. And I'm gonna leave this whiteboard over here. I have no idea if you can still see it though this whole time. Should probably check that in the frame. Not really. Cool. Maybe I can put it at an angle over with the dog toys. Is that visible? Let's see. Yeah, cool. You can see that. Sweet deal. All right, my yogi friends, let's get started in honestly the best pose ever, child's pose. So we're starting really close to the earth, just like our little seedlings. We are seedlings ourselves, right? We are constantly growing and renewing. We're discovering new things about ourselves, and when we discover new things, we are able to um, take that information and be a little bit stronger, and that's growth. So let's honor that growth and honor the fact that we are constantly renewing and becoming these seedlings again and just starting new and learning new things and new skills. And let's start in a child's pose. So just starting to settle in. I'm going to have knees side by side today just to support my low back and my belly. If you want more hip opening, knees apart, it doesn't matter. And you can just reach your arms forward, head settles down. So you choose which feels best for you. For me, it's knees side by side. My low back is needing a little bit of attention. It's telling me, hey, you need to stretch it out a little bit, but also just from sitting a lot and sitting a little bit funky too. But also, I think this time of year it's just really nice to feel that connection to your own body and really seal in that connection between belly and thighs. Reminding yourself that you are supporting your own self. Need anyone else. You are strong. You are rooted, you are grounded right now. You can add a sway to the hips left and right if it feels nice. Maybe a little sway into the forehead, just depending on your energy today. If you got some excess energy buzzing around, that sway might be so nice. If you're feeling like you just need to be still, you're feeling a little lethargic, just be still and enjoy it. Soak it up, lean into that space. Honor and acknowledge where you are at. Acknowledge your breath. Notice where you are at right now. Can you breathe a little bit deeper, all the way down into the base of the belly? Pausing at the top of that breath, holding all that air in your belly space before opening up your mouth, a big cleansing sigh. Emptying all the air out. Another full inhale. Pause. And then open mouth sigh. Let it all go. Take another round of breath just like that at your own pace. Moving nice and slow like you. No one else, just you. Nice, yogis. When you're ready to add a little bit more movement into the body, let's take our right arm first and we're going to slide it underneath the left armpit right here. So we're just going for a thread the needle variation. Lowering that right ear to the earth as our right hand reaches over, palm faces up. Just thread the needle here. Now your knees can be apart. That might create some more space to ground down if you feel like you're really far away from the earth. Or if you want a little bit more intensity and stretch, you can be a little bit higher up, stretching a little bit more into the neck rather than just into the shoulder. Exhale, sink you even heavier towards the ground. Inhales, fill all the way up, so rolling apart your shoulders on the inhales, pulling them a little bit further away from. Exhales, let that rolling breath just come back out, releasing any stale energy, finding some subtle movement into our body. Take one last breath in here, fill all the way up. On the exhale, begin to unwind. Plant your right palm back down. Now the left arm slides underneath, left ear comes to ground. And then again, focus on the inhales and the exhales. When we talk about moving around our energy or stale energy, it's really nice because the beautiful thing about yoga is it really resets our perspective, our energy, our mindset, right? No matter what you leave your mat or walk away from your practice with, it leaves you with this good feeling no matter what. And it's just that resetting, rearranging of things within our body, stretching into spaces that might have been stagnant for a while or um, a little bit tense from stress. So, no matter what kind of practice you have, whether it's more on a spiritual level or a physical stretching level, it doesn't really matter. It's what serves you best. You're going to get out of this what you need to. You are practicing. That's the most important part. And again, that connection that we're reminded that we're rooted here. Our head is pressing into the earth. Both hands are making contact. Our feet, our shins. Another full inhale. Exhale, unwind that left arm, come back to your child's pose. But we're gonna make this a little bit of a different child's pose. We're gonna make it kind of active here. So, as you're watching where I'm at right now, I have my palms really pressed down into the earth. I'm looking forward towards where my palms are. My forearms are kind of hovering. There's a little bit of a micro bend in them, just so I don't lock out my elbows, because if I straighten them, I tend to lock out and hyperextend. I'm trying to draw my shoulders back into their sockets. And then I'm going to start to tuck my toes, and that pushes my energy forward a little bit, just so I can hover my knees and shins off the earth. Take a deep breath in, sitting back. Stay for the breath out. Another full inhale and a full breath out. Lower back down to the knees. Let's take a tabletop so we're on all fours. Let's stretch first into the wrists. Now, I personally really like to stretch my wrists while I'm in tabletop just to prepare myself for my practice. It really helps create that element of longevity in your practice because it prepares every joint, including your wrists, which take a lot of pressure in yoga. So let's always try to remember to stretch those if we can. And I'm going to start with I'll turn around so you can see my right hand first. So I start with the right hand. I'm We're going to take this right hand, stretch our fingers back towards our knee, but our palm is up. So fingers reaching back towards the knee, but the palm is up. And we're going to work on just drawing our fingers in towards the center of our palm, making a nice fist, and then gently releasing. Again, squeezing your fingers towards the center of our palm, make a fist, and then gently release. One more of those, squeeze. Gently release. Let's take the palm, face it down, fingers back towards the knee. Just a little stretch for the forearm here, a little bit of forwards and backwards movement if it feels good. If not, stay still or just don't do this at all. And then bring your right hand back to neutral. Let's go for the left side. And I'll turn back around to face forward in quotes. All right, so now we're going to face our fingers back towards our knees. Palm faces up for the left hand. Again, same thing as on the right side. Squeeze the fingers in towards the center of the palm. Make a fist. And then release. Again, squeeze your fingers in. And then release. Squeeze all 4 fingers in, make a fist. I can't bend my thumb without, like, bending my elbow a lot, so don't stress about that part. And then gently release. Palm faces down, fingers back towards the knee, a little bit forwards and backwards movement. Just warming up the whole body to get ready for our practice. Now, you might notice that my toes are already kind of tucked back behind me. Hey, that's going to be important a little bit, but you can keep them untucked if you prefer. All right, so meeting back in this neutral tabletop, let's start with just some warming up our backs to cat cow. So on the inhale, lift our tailbone and gaze up. Exhale, round and hollow out. Press the earth away with your palms. Pull navel in towards spine. Again, inhale, pull your heart through, lengthen along the collarbone, look up. Exhale, round and hollow out. Now hold this cat-like back and press your ribs over to the right. Hips sink back down towards the heels and then ribs go over to the left. Roll forward towards those fingertips, get into the wrists, and then ribs go over to the right. Hips sink back, ribs press left, and then forward pause here, switch it out. Ribs press to the left first, hips back towards the heels, and then over to the right. Roll over those wrists and then back to the left. Hips sink back towards your heels, create the circular motion. Last half rotation is on your own. And then we'll meet back in our neutral tabletop. Take one more cat-cow, reset that spine. So keep that connection to breath. Exhale, round and hollow out. While you're rounding and hollowing out, tuck your toes, sit your hips back towards your heels, sit up nice and tall, yogi toe stretch. Now, yogi toe stretch is, it can be super uncomfortable. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to tell you that is a fact. It's also affectionately called fire toes. For that reason, you're going to feel some fire in your feet as you stretch into the fascia. That's the tissue within our feet. But this pose is also so good. If you're feeling that fire, it means you need to do this more often. I actually can sit in this pose for a really long time before I even feel that happening, just because I practice it so often. And I highly recommend that you do, because if you stand a lot or you actually just work at a desk and sit a lot, either one, honestly, your feet need to be stretched. If you're not stretching your feet all the time, I highly recommend that you try incorporating this posture more often into your practice. Even if it's just a little at home thing, you just want to move a little bit in your body for the day and just kind of be done at that point, right? Sometimes we don't have to do a whole yoga practice. We can just take a moment breathing and being in our body. And I know I'm talking on and your feet are killing you probably. I'm actually starting to feel it in my feet. Maybe I need to do this more often, all over again. Who knows? Maybe I haven't been doing this enough. One more full inhale. Exhale. Come back to all fours. Tap the tops of your feet into the earth. Let that all go. Nice, yogis. Last little tap, and then find some stillness. Awesome. Let's walk our hands forward. Let's find a puppy pose. Really bowing towards the earth, creating this connection by lowering our forehead down to the earth or the chin down, whatever feels better for you. Now, mindful, your hips are still over your knees, right? Your booty's still sticking up in the air. And it doesn't matter if your forehead's down or your chin is down, whatever feels better for the neck. If you have any neck problems, skip the chin being down. Stick to only the forehead being down. Your choice. Now, I really love this posture. It's a nice little bow to the earth. I really think of it as a very humble pose. It's also kind of playful and strengthening. And you have to be very mindful here. This really works on opening up the Shuddha, your throat chakra. If your chin is down to the earth, is a beautiful pose to help work on those lines and channels of communication. Last breath in. Exhale, slowly coming back up right to your tabletop. All right, now we're tucking better. So our toes are tucked. I'm going to turn towards you so you guys can see. Toes are tucked. And we're just going to go for a little neck stretch. We're going to drop our right ear over towards our right shoulder. Nice chin towards chest. And then left ear over towards left shoulder. Great. Bring your chin back towards your chest one more time. Right ear over towards right shoulder. Chin the chest, left ear over towards left shoulder. Head comes back up through center. Let it go. Now you're back in yogi toe stretch, not your favorite place to be. So let's go from this yogi toe stretch. Engage your core. Be really strong here. And then lift yourself up all the way to standing. Now, you might notice that you're at the back of your mat. Step forward to the top of your mat. That's where we're all meet. And just kind of wiggle out your toes. let them go. I like to crunch up my toes a little bit to let it go and just kind of wiggle them out, resettle in. This is just a nice way to also reconnect to the earth and make that connection to your mat. So by lifting up all 10 toes and then settling them back down, you have this strong foundation. Now start to close your eyes, palms face forward for mountain pose. Draw the shoulders down your back. Squeeze and tuck your tailbone a little bit. Squeeze and engage those glutes a little bit to really engage your legs. Your quads are fired up, pulling your kneecaps up a little bit actively. You're rooting down into your feet, all four parts of your feet, all four corners. That's your big toe, your pinky toe, all the way back to your heel, each side of your heel, the inner part of the heel and the outer part of the heel. Then you start to notice as your core engaged here. So you're squeezing into your glutes, you're tucking the tailbone under. Your core is probably starting to become engaged, whether you realize it or not. So engage it a little bit more, pull the navel in towards the spine, but then also tuck the ribs in towards each other. Really pull everything in. Your eyes are still closed. Find a little bit of length as the shoulders roll down the back, a little bit of a prouder heart opening along the front line. Shoulders are pulling down the back. Shoulder blades are maybe pinching a little bit together. Crown of your head reaching tall to the sky, but that gentle tuck of the chin in towards your chest. This engages all of your root locks, or sorry, all of your bandhas, your energy locks. So bandhas or your energy locks are there's three main points. So you have your lower pelvic floor that you're engaging and pulling up and in, and probably if you're working on really squeezing, engaging your glutes and tucking the tailbone, and then really pulling that lower pelvic floor up and in, you've already got that. And then engaging the core helps engage your second bandha, and then your last bandha is just tucking the chin ever so slightly. You're really strong and stable right here. You are like a mountain. And thinking about this as like are in bloom. Things grow everywhere, even on the side of a mountain if it's not too cold, right? So maybe like a more like a coastal mountain. Even in harsh terrains where the wind might be blowing a lot, the temperatures might change. Even in a desert, things are growing. We're able to renew ourselves even with lack of resources like plants in the desert, right? They might not get as much water as other plants, but they make do. And we're able to do that right here. We're breathing, we're practicing, and we're moving. Take a big breath in, sweep your arms up towards the sky, reach them up high. Maybe keep the eyes closed for this round. Exhale, cactus the heart, take a little back bend, keep squeezing the tailbone under, protect the low back. Inhale, arms reach up. Maybe you flutter open your eyes this time. Grab onto that left wrist, stretch up and over to the right. Equal weight into both feet still. Your hips might press a little bit more to the left. Inhale, come back up. Let's switch it out. Grab for that right wrist, stretch up and over. Maybe your gaze comes past that right elbow, or maybe it's down towards the earth, whatever feels better for the neck. One more full breath in, stretch a little bit more. Exhale, come back up. Nice yogis, open twist, right arm back, left arm forward. Now notice, did your right hip point pull back? Whoop, pull it forward. Keep your hips equal and even. Keep spreading through the webbing of your fingers, okay? So it's like your pinky finger and your thumb finger are being pulled apart in opposite directions, but then also your middle fingers are being pulled apart forwards and backwards. Feel that stretch. Next, inhale, sweep the arms up high. Good, left arm back, right arm forward this time. And again, pulling that left hip point forward, stretching wide between the webbing of your fingers, and then feeling like your ring finger, sorry, your pointer fingers being pulled apart in opposite directions. Zoe, stop. Sorry, I gotta tell my dog to stop licking her paws. She's obsessed with it. She's just too allergic. All right. Inhale, sweep her arms up high to the sky. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Take a moment in this forward fold, arrive. I like to take a ragdoll personally when I take a forward fold at the beginning of my practice. That means that both my knees are bent. I grab for opposite elbows and I just let my head hang out because I always forget how much tension I have in my spine until I start to feel that lengthening along the low back and the spine. You might take a different variation. You might take a bind already. It's up to you how warm you feel in these hamstrings. But that generous bend into the knees where it's belly and thigh connection is very similar to our child's pose that we took earlier. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. Nice. We're going to go for a little twist. So lower that left fingertip beneath your face, right? Now you could have it to a block or a cookbook. You're going to straighten out the right leg, but keep a generous bend in the left knee. As you reach that right arm up towards the sky, a big reach and stretch. Take a full inhale. Exhale, switch it out. Lower that right hand down. Keep a bend in the right knee, but straighten out the left leg. Reaching the left arm also high to the sky. So you have all this length on the left side of your body. And the right side just kind of hanging out, taking the stretch. Exhale, lower it both down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step back, top of a push up, high plank pose. Now I'm going to turn so you can see me in this high plank pose because I want to show you something that we're going to do, something very specific. Stay calm. Stay for the exhale. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to bend our knees so they hover over the earth. Nice. Push your booty back towards your heels. Oh, wait, we're back to that active child's pose we had earlier, isn't it? Take a deep breath in. Exhale, pull yourself forward back to that plank pose. Lower halfway chaturanga. Up dog. Reach your heart up, look up. Exhale, roll over the toes, down dog. So it's going to be kind of our flow for today. That's an optional vinyasa variation you can take. If that child's pose, a hovering active child's pose is not serving you, skip it. If you don't want to do chaturanga to up dog, skip it, right? Make your vinyasas yours, but that's the option of the variation I'm going to give you today. And I'll do it one more time with you in a little bit, and then I'll probably skip them just so I don't end up out of breath and try to talk to you guys because I've learned it's really stinking hard to do all these vinyasas and also not sound like I'm like gasping for air while talking. All right, so we're still in our down dog, right? We're still just warming up our bodies here, taking our time to move and breathe like us. Now lift high onto these tippy toes. Take the tiniest tiptoe steps forward, teeny tiny, teeny tiny tiptoe steps forward. Keep the palms rooted, keep the legs as straight as you can, and then arrive at the top. This time we're taking a more of a bind. So from our bind, I might take peace fingers around big toes. You might take Padahastasana. That's when you slide your hands underneath the soles of your feet, palms facing up towards the soles. But for today, for me, I'm taking peace fingers around big toes. Knees start bent. Let your head hang heavy and arrive. Elbows bending out east and west, left and right. And then maybe you start to work on straightening those legs if that's feeling good for you. Or maybe you just hang out. Now, notice something here. Stay in that bind, but I'm going to talk to you about something. Do you notice that sometimes you're trying to pull your shoulders and your arms? Not be pulling with the shoulders and arms at all here. That pull should come from your core, from your belly. And that's it. So if you're not able to pull yourself any further with your core or your belly, it's just a nice way of knowing that you've gone far enough. So if you want to flow a little bit deeper here, that should come from your belly, not from the arms. We're not using any strength. If you notice in my arms, I have like no tension here. My muscles are not active at all. And that's how it should be. Take one more full breath in. Big exhale, release one hand at a time. Inhale, halfway lift, anchor fingers to shins or to earth. Nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Nice yogis. Inhale, root and rise. Reach high. Reach up towards the sky. Cactus. Heart open. Back bend. Look up. Inhale, arms reach up. Grab onto your left wrist. Stretch up and over. Inhale, come back through center. Grab onto the right wrist. Stretch up and over. Inhale, come back up. Right arm back, left arm forward. That open twist. Good. Now from here, mixing it up a little bit different. Start to bend into your left knee. You might know where we're going. We're lowering our left fingertips to the earth, and we're reaching that right arm high to sky. Nice, yogis. Reaching nice and high through your right fingertips. Can you start to lift off that left hand and hover? And then rise all the way back up to that open twist. Awesome work. Inhale, sweep your arms up high. That's not easy. Exhale, left arm back, right arm forward. Definitely not easy at all. When you're ready, start to bend a generous bit into that right knee. Lower that right hand down. Reach that left arm high to the sky. Nice. Scoop up your navel, engage your core. Start to hover that bottom right hand. Hold this hovering for just one more breath in. And then start to rise back up. Nice. Inhale, sweep both arms high. Exhale, palms come into heart center for just a moment. Pause. Slow it down. We've been moving a little bit. Notice your breath. Notice the beat of your heart. Notice the shift in energy already in your body. How is it feeling different? How are things already starting to shift? We're blooming, we are changing and ever growing constantly, including in our practice. Inhale, sweep your arms up towards the sky, flutter open the eyes. Exhale, swan dive forward, fold generously, bend into those knees. No need to lock them out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step back, top of a push up, high plank pose. And again, yogis, you know where we're going. So, what we're going to do from here is we're going to bend the knees to hover over the earth. Sit your hips back towards your heels. Good. Now, if you feel like you're too stretched out, you can always walk your hands back in a little bit and make it a shorter active child's pose stance. Take one more full breath in. Exhale, pull yourself forward, high plank pose. Exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Nice job, yogis. You guys are amazing. If you are just moving and breathing in your own body and doing your own thing and honoring that, you're doing great. So we're just breathing nice and calm here in our down dog. Take 2 more rounds of breath. One more big breath in. And a big exhale. Let it go. You're serving. Inhale, sweep your right leg high. Bend your knee, stack your hip open. Take a moment. Exhale, draw knee in towards nose. Shift it forward. Nice. Inhale, kick it up. Bend your knee, stack your hip. Knee over towards that right elbow or tricep. Nice. Use that strength to lift a little bit higher. And then kick it up. Bend your knee, stack your hip. Knee twist over towards that left elbow. Pause. Fallen triangle. Can you hover your right foot for a moment? Take another deep breath in. Exhale, lower your left foot down, or right foot down, sorry. Inhale, reach that left arm high overhead. Exhale, left hand comes down. Kick back up, three-legged. Bend your knee, stack your hip. Step that right foot outside the right pinky. Lizard lunge. Woo! We've arrived. Now, you've arrived in your lizard lunge, but your hips might be like, ugh, this is a little early for this. So you might tent up onto the fingertips. You might move a little bit forwards and backwards, left and right. You might even move in circles. You might be down to the palms. But we're keeping this active. So our back left knee is still lifted. We're feeling that stretch across the hip flexor. You're also feeling that stretch on the inner thigh, the hip, maybe even a little bit into your back of your hamstrings, especially if you start to straighten out that right leg. It can feel really nice to find this extended pyramid pose. It might not feel so nice, you adjust. But let's meet back in this active lizard pose. Inhale, we're going to peel our right arm off the earth, reach it high. Good. Exhale, lower your hand back down. Lower your back left knee down. Straighten out your front right leg. Flex the toes up towards the sky for a half splits. But it's a half splits that your legs are really wide, right? So both arms are still inside that right leg. So it's a lizard half splits. One more full breath in. And a full breath out. Lovely yogis, when you're ready, re-bend into your front right knee. Now your left knee's already down, so pick up that left foot, pivot it back behind you. So what you're in right now is this weird kickstand leg of your left leg back behind you. And then walk your hands to that top left corner of the mat. Bow it on down, let it all go. Start to tend back up on the fingertips. Walk your hands all the way to the back of the mat. Left hand plants, right arm reaches up towards the sky. Start to wiggle out that right foot a little bit longer. Maybe you start to hover that foot, flexing the toes, finding activity into the obliques here because you're lifting, and into this right glute because you're lifting this right leg really high to the sky. Reaching that right arm high as well. On the exhale, swim this right arm forward. Take a deep breath in, find a little bit more length. Exhale, crunch, knee in towards elbow, elbow towards knee. Inhale, find length. Exhale, crunch it all into center. Inhale, find length. Exhale, crunch it all into center. Hey, Zozo. Inhale, find length. Exhale, crunch it all in. Last one. Inhale, find length. Exhale, crunch it all in. Reach it out long. Lower that right foot down. Swim your arms upright. So you're in this like funky half bridge or half dancing bridge is what I call it. Half bridge doesn't really make sense. So dancing gait, I should say, not bridge. Serve your right fingertips forward down to your leg. Reach this left arm up and over. And then let's find some gate pose. So we're going to dance our fingertips to the back of the mat. Hover this foot or keep it down, your choice. And then let's rise one more time. Tilt it up and forward. Nice, yogis. Come back upright like you're in a warrior two. Bend back into this front knee. You're in a kneeling warrior two. Take another full inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Pivot your left foot back behind you. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee up. Good. Hop your back left foot in. Straighten out your front left leg. Pyramid pose. Bow over that right leg. Another full inhale. And a full exhale. Walking your hands forward, standing L, balance on just the right foot. Left toes flex down towards the earth. Take a steady inhale. Exhale, melt your left toes to the back of the mat, rebend and frame your foot. And then take a vinyasa from here. You can step your foot back from the high plank pose. You can sit your hips back low, that active child's pulling forward, high plank pose, chaturanga, up dog, and meet back in down dog, or any variation that you want to take. But we're meeting back in our down dog. Come back to that breath, fill up. Big sigh out. Nice, one more breath in, just like that, fill up. Let go of some heat on the exhale. Inhale, swim your left leg high, bend your knee, stack your hip for just a moment. Exhale, draw knee in towards nose, shift it forward. Inhale, kick it up, bend your knee, stack your hip. Knee over towards your left elbow or tricep. Nice. Try to bring it up a little bit higher towards the armpit first, and then kick it up, bend your knee, stack your hip. Knee twist over to the right elbow. Pause. Kick it out, fallen triangle, but try to hover that left foot for just a moment. Right arm reaches high to the sky. And then when you're ready, the left foot plants, reaching that right arm, looking a little bit up and behind you. Exhale, let's kick back, bend your knee, stack your hip. Stepping this left foot outside the left pinky, lizard lunge. Nice. As you arrive, maybe you tent up onto the fingertips, you move a little bit forwards and backwards, left and right circles. Whatever you need to move into the front right hip flexor, the inner left thigh, all those areas you're feeling that stretch. And it just depends for you where you're feeling it. Now for me, I like to stay down to the palms. I like to really get in the back of the hamstrings and straighten out this left leg. You might join me if you did on the other side. Maybe a little yes and no shake for your neck. Releasing any tension. Rebend into this front left knee. And then peel your left arm high to sky. Easy twist with this lizard stance of the legs. Lovely yogis, lower this hand back down. Taking your time, lower your right knee down. Straighten out your front left leg, half splits. And again, both hands to the inside of that left leg. Bowing and folding. Taking your time to breathe and stretch into the back of that hamstring. Now, you might not bow as much. You might just be working on letting this hamstring begin to unwind and loosen. I should say hamstrings. There's multiple hamstring muscles. All right, let's rebend into this front left knee. Let's pick up our right foot and pivot it back behind us. So again, we have that kickstand stance. Remember this from earlier. Now walk your hands to that top right corner of the mat. Awesome job, yogis. Taking your time to breathe and move like you. And then start to walk your hands to the back of the mat. The right hand plants, left arm reaches high. Straighten out that left leg as well. Good. Engage your core as you start to hover this left leg. So that's engaging your obliques, your core. All your abdominal muscles are fired up, but you're also engaging into this left glute a lot too. It's a big muscle group. Let's engage those glutes. Sweeping that left arm high overhead, reach a little bit longer. Exhale, crunch, knee in towards elbow, elbow towards knee. Inhale, find length, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, find length, extend, reach long. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, find length. Exhale, crunch. We got one more of these. Inhale, find length. Exhale, crunch. Use that core. Inhale, find length. Lower your foot down, and then surf your hands up like you're in like a warrior two upper body right now. Surfing your fingertips forward, left arm tick-tocks down, right arm reaches up and over for this dancing gait. Dropping that right hand down to the back of the mat with ease, with grace. Maybe you hover that top foot or not, but just reach that left arm high overhead. And again, rise back up. Surf those left fingertips forward and down. Let them barely hover on this top leg. And then right hand glides down, reaching that left arm up and over towards the back. Come back up, re-bend into your front left knee. Find this warrior two, kneeling warrior two variation. It's like a baby warrior two. We have so many baby variations of postures, right? Like baby crow. Baby crow is a very tough one. I feel like it's way tougher or more difficult than normal crow pose, but maybe it's just me and how crow pose feels for me and baby crow. And then when you're ready, cartwheel your hands down, pick up your back foot, pivot it back behind you. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up, hop the right foot in a little bit shorter, pyramid pose, all 10 toes facing forward. You might walk your hands a little bit more underneath the shoulders. You start to bow over this left leg, pulling the left hip point back, right hip point forward, keeping your hips square. Give the head a little bit of a shake, yes and no. And then in your exhale, you're going to walk your hands forward, hover and balance just on the left foot. Let the right toes flare down. You got standing L going on. Head is hanging, belly to thigh connection. Working on drawing your nose in towards your shin a little bit more. Now we're going to be back in this pose in a little bit, so keeping that in mind and remembering that as you are here. Exhale, step your right toes to the back of the mat. You're back in a low lunge. And then again, any vinyasa you want from here, whether you want to be that active child's or not. You can skip any and all of these and just go straight back to your down dog. Steady inhales. Big exhale. Next inhale, sweep your right leg high. Exhale, draw a knee in towards nose, shift it forward. Flex your foot, draw that knee a little bit closer towards the chest. Take another full breath in, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, step that right foot forward and through. Awesome job, yogis, taking your time. Find the strength and engagement through your legs first, and then start to rise up, high crescent lunge. Open twist, right arm back, left arm forward. Oh yeah, we've been here before, haven't we? Just standing normally, but here we are in a high crescent lunge. If you'd like to exalt, you can always tick-tock your right arm down, left arm up. It's up to you. Come back, open twist. Good. Sweep both arms high to the sky. Palms come into heart center. Let's prayer twist over to the right. Hooking this left elbow to our top of our right thigh. Sink a little bit lower into that right knee if you can. Now, this is really good for digestion. And if you're like me, you might be baking extra or eating a lot of different food than you normally do. It's all good. Be kind to yourself. We're just working on a little twist here. Inhale, come back up through center. It's also really good for your immune system too. Now, staying really low, step this left foot forward, chair pose is where we meet. All right, so you felt that hovering of that back left foot when you stepped it up. We're gonna play with that a little bit more. Taking a full inhale here. Exhale, stand all the way up. Cactus the heart open, back bend. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, palms come into heart center. Pause for a moment. Maybe you close the eyes. Check back in with the heartbeat, your breath, your energy, your perspective. A mantra that might be inspiring you, dedicated to someone or something. Just a word that inspires, whatever it might be. Flutter open the eyes. Reset your focus here as you bring your weight into your left foot primarily. Let's start to hover that right knee up and in towards our chest, one-legged Tadasana. Engage any of the wiggles and wobbles. If you fall out of it, it's all good. Or you can bring your foot to the inside of the calf, just not pressing on the knee at all, okay? So your foot's nowhere near your knee because we know knees should bend forwards and backwards, but knees don't go left or right. Be nice to your knee, please. You only got one set for free. I've heard they're expensive after that. Hands come into heart center. Engage the core here. That's where your balance comes from. And remember those locks that we talked about, those bandhas, those energy locks? So engage the lower pelvic floor. Engage your core. And then a little tuck of the chin. And voila, you've got a much stronger whole body just from engaging those 3 energy locks. It's amazing. One more full breath in. You are in tree pose. This represents growth and blossoming and blooming, just like the beautiful trees are outside right now. Let's face our knee forward, one-legged Tadasana. Nice, yogis. Now bear with me. We're going to do something a little bit funky. Hands stay in the heart center. Let's start to kick our booty in towards our heel. Now, start to lower this right foot down and pedal it out for just a moment. We're going to come back to that booty to heel here. So sit low, chair pose. Now, I personally like to bring the hands to heart center. It helps you balance better. If you like your hands overhead, you can keep them there. But hands in the heart center for me is what works. So I'm going to be here. Hovering my right foot off the earth. Good. Heel in towards the booty once again. Can you start to tap this right knee behind your left calf? Oh, yeah, this is a fun place to be, right? Take another full breath in and a full breath out. Sit a little bit lower if you can. Good. Stay here and start to lean forward. Embrace all the wiggles and wobbles. And then when you're ready, we're going to lower our hands down to the earth, kick our foot back behind us. Oh, standing L. We talked about this earlier. Nice. Breathing a full round of breath in and breath out. One more full inhale. And a full exhale. All right, yogis, stepping our right foot all the way to the back of the mat. And you can take any vinyasa or journey back to down dog that you want. I personally am just going to kick my heels back and booty high to sky. But it's your journey to make it back to your down dog on your own. Listening to your body, being kind to it is the most important part of your practice, really. We should talk about getting back to the root of our practice. It's not about chasing a cool pose because it's cool. It's not about just because it's super intense and difficult to do and wears us out and we feel like we're getting a workout. That's not what our practice is about. If you remember, our practice is about, breathing and moving within our body and shifting that energy, like we said at the beginning. It's about how we feel after we practice, that beautiful bliss that we soak up from all of our hard work. All right, when you're ready, yogis, sweeping that left leg high. Exhale, knee in towards nose or third eye space. Hold here. Draw that knee in a little bit closer. Lift up a little bit higher. Flex the foot. Stay with it for another full inhale. Exhale, step that left foot through. Rise up, high crescent lunge. Use your strength here in your lower body, in your legs. Good. Open your back, right arm forward. Well, you can tick-tock that left arm down, right arm high to sky. And then we'll meet back in our high crescent lunge, right? So sweeping both arms high to sky. Palms come into heart center. Lean forward and that lovely prayer twist for health, for our digestive health and our immune health. Hooking that right elbow to the top of our thigh. Pull the navel up and in. Find a little bit more twist. Good. Stay with it. One more breath in. Exhale. Let's come back. Upright, high crescent lunge. Now keeping this depth, step this right foot forward with control. Maybe you hover it up there for a long time. Good work, yogis. Stay with it. Another deep breath in. Exhale, rise up. Palms come into heart center, close the eyes. Reconnect to breath. Reconnect your stance to the earth, right? So engage your legs just like we did earlier at the beginning of our practice. Engage your bandhas, all three of them. And then when you're ready, flutter open the eyes. Let's go for tree pose on the left side. So shifting weight into our right foot. Let's take our knee up and in towards heart center. Flex the foot. Starting here, start to pivot your knee out towards the left side of the room. And then maybe you grab onto that left ankle to help place it to the inside of your foot, or maybe to the inside of your calf, or even down to the earth as a kickstand. Just remember the no place to put your knee. The place that you should never put your knee is on your knee joint because that pushes it left or right, and that's not good. All right, so foot to inside of thigh is where I'm at today. It just depends on the day and what kind of practice I want. Today, I want to work on that strength a little bit. I haven't been practicing as often. And so when I do, I want to prove to myself I still have that strength a little bit, but it's not necessarily about proving. It's more like I want to fire it up and engage it because that fire hasn't been stoked in a while. And if you think about that fire, it helps burn through a tarnish on the outside. If we haven't been practicing as often as we normally do, we might have a little bit of extra layers to kind of burn away through to get to that beautiful gold core deep down inside ourselves. Now, hopefully, I bought time to feel like you're balancing and getting this time to grow really tall from the root of the right foot all the way up to the crown of your head. Nice. Think about engaging all those energy locks, all those bandhas. And engaging a drishti, finding something that you can look at that's not moving that helps you focus and be able to balance. If you fall out of it though, honestly, to me, one of the best things about my practice is me my everyday life too. So when we do something silly or we fall randomly because we're kind of clumsy, if you're like me, or bump into stuff and knock it over, you can kind of just laugh it off a little bit easier because you've been practicing that on your mat. Hence the word that we call practice for our yoga, right? Yoga's not a test. There's never a test. It's always just practice. All right, let's draw this left knee back forward, hands in the heart center here for a moment. Bear with me as we go through this little funky exercise. Start to kick this left heel in towards your left booty. Nice, keep it here for one more breath in. Exhale, lower that left foot down, pedal it out, let it go. I like to let the arms go a little bit, shake it out, bend into both knees, pedal it out. Pretend like you're moonwalking or you could actually moonwalk. It's up to you. All right, back to this chair pose though. So sit low, chair pose. Hands in the heart center. You choose. For me, hands at heart center helps me feel best. Now starting to hover that left foot once again, kick that heel in towards the booty. We're in a one-legged chair. Isn't this fun? Start to cross this left knee behind your right calf and sit a little bit lower. Good. Engage your core. Now this is all in this right quad and glute right there. Fired up right now, especially the quad. Sit a little bit lower as you lean the heart forward. Good. One more patient breath in. Exhale, lower your hands down. Kick that left foot back, balancing on the right foot. Great. Drawing the nose in towards the shin a little bit more. You know, if you got a handstand in your practice, you could work on kicking up from here. You could go near a wall and work on kicking up too. Just mindful that when you kick up, in quotes, you're not actually like kicking your feet into the wall really hard. You're working on trying to like hover your way up. You might need a little bit of a spontaneous kick to get you up there, right? But you might just work on even drawing this heel in towards your booty a little bit more as you balance there. All right, last full breath in. Exhale, left toes melt to the back of the mat. You're in this low lunge and take your vinyasa. We meet back in down dog, yogis. What's going on with the breath? What do you notice is happening? What can you change and shift about this breath and your perspective? Inhale, taking a deep breath in. Big audible sigh. Walk your feet in a little bit shorter, so a short down dog stance. Lower down to the knees. And then sit on back. Ooh. That was a lot. We were moving a lot, building some strength. But now we're going to start to come back down to our roots, to our point of grounding, because no good plant can grow without some really strong roots, without a deep root system. And that's why we come back down to the earth, especially towards the end of our practice, to find that slowing down, that regrounding once again. All right, but before we do that, because you can be really strong and yet grounded at the same time in just a moment, but what we're gonna do first is we're gonna sit our hips over to the side and we're going to walk our feet out mat width distance. We're gonna do a shoulder stretch that I usually do in the studio, and I haven't done it since teaching online. But it's a good one that we all really need, and it's pretty intense. So your feet are out really wide to begin with. So they're mat width distance or wider. And then you're gonna take the backs of your hands and place them to the outside of your hips. Now you're gonna try to move your elbows to the inside of your knees. And oh my gosh, this might already be enough for you. If it's not, and you have pretty flexible shoulders, you could walk your feet in closer. For me, I haven't done this in a long time. I did it the other day, so it's not as bad as it was the other day. But man, guys, if you haven't done this in a long time or ever, it's a pretty intense stretch. We tend to externally rotate our shoulders a lot in our when stretching, but internal rotation tends to take a back seat a little bit. Last breath in. Exhale, walk your feet out, release those elbows. Oh my goodness. Now going onto your back is going to feel really good, especially if you know what I'm about to tell you we're going to do. Now, if you take my class normally, you definitely know where we're going because we always do some core work, right? So, on to our backs. All right. Now, let's work on just lowering our palms down to the earth. Let's kick our feet up towards the sky like a legs to wall pose. You can add a bend into your knees so that your low back is completely grounded. And now your next exhale, start to lower your legs about a third of the way. Now you might keep your feet flexed or you might point them. It's up to you. Lower them another third. And then lower them to hover. Nice. Inhale, bring them up a third. Bring them up another third. And then all the way up. Embrace all those shakes because I know I got them too, guys. My core is not what it used to be, but that is okay. Loving yourself through it all. Exhale, lower a third of the way. Lower another third. Even when you're doing core work and you're the one telling everybody to do core work, you still got to try to love yourself. Lower it to hover. Inhale a third. Inhale another third. And then all the way up. All right, yogis, we're gonna do that again, but this time at the bottom, we're gonna hold, okay? You'll hear it. It's not exactly at the bottom. Lower a third of the way. Lower another third. Now stay right here. This is where we're holding. Open your legs out wide and then cross right over left, left over right, right over left, left over right. Keep going. You got this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift your feet back up. Oh my goodness, we're not done yet. We're going to press our palms really firmly down into the earth, and we're just going to lift our booty off the earth a little bit. So there's a little lift, and a lift. Try to really engage your lower pelvic floor and your low belly here. This is really good for all those mamas out there too, thinking about Mother's Day coming up. Take another full inhale and a full exhale. Stay with this. You got one more round of breath in. And stay for that breath out. Keep moving, not stopping the whole time. And then hug the knees in towards the chest. Let it go. Ooh. A little left and right rock might feel good. Lower your feet down to the earth. We're going to go for a figure four stretch. So kicking your right foot up towards the sky, cross that right ankle over your left knee. And then draw that knee in towards your heart. Slowing down the breath as the movement slows down, because we can remember that just because we're grounded and connected to the earth and a little bit lower, not to be standing to be proud and strong in our practice. Some of the most difficult parts of our practice come from our more grounded forms, come from us having to try to really dig deep within ourselves to find that strength. Give it one more big squeeze. Stay for that exhale. One more breath in. On that next exhale, gently release that left foot down. Cross that right leg completely over your left. Eagle wrap the legs. First, though, hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Feel that stretch deep down, either into the hip, which is where I tend to feel a bit more, or some people really feel it into their glutes. Good. Now release the bind and just let your knees fall over towards the left. Arms open up to a T, gaze twists over towards that open right palm if it feels good for the neck. It is a supine twist with an eagle wrap of the legs. Now, mind you, if the eagle wrap does not serve, if it's hurting your knee, because sometimes when my knees are being sensitive, this is not a great pose for my knees. Unwind them and just stack your knees on top of each other. Just stack them. That's it. That's all you got to do to adjust a pose sometimes. Breathe into that right lung, another full breath in, and a full breath out. Full breath in, and maybe a bigger sigh this time. Unwinding, bring your knees back through center, uncross the legs. Good. Now kick that left foot up towards the sky, left ankle crosses over the right. And then let's do that figure four stretch again, interlacing our hands behind our right thigh, pulling in our legs towards our heart. I like to remember though to keep this left knee pressing away. So my elbow is here on the left side, just to really press into the thigh, into the meaty part of my thigh, to remind my knee to kind of push forward a little bit more. Drawing the knees in. Maybe you'll do a little flex and point into the toes, maybe a little snap, crackle, pop. Nice, yogis. Staying with it for another 2 rounds of breath. Last exhale. Letting it all go, releasing that right foot down to the earth. Now completely cross this left leg over your right. And then again, hug them in. Get that nice stretch deep down, maybe into the glutes. Maybe it's more into the hips. And then gently release the bind. Knees fall over to the right. As you twist the gaze over to the left. Now I say gently because like I don't want you to force yourself into a pose. So, excuse me. Into a pose. Oh man, guys. Excuse me. My allergies are talking to me today. I don't want you to force yourself into a pose that just doesn't feel good. Okay. If you notice that plants don't like to be forced into places, if you ever have a climbing vine, I know I'm a plant nerd, guys, so I'm going to probably digress about plants. But if you have a climbing vine, whether it's like sugar snap peas for an actual vegetable or it's just like a beautiful mandevilla or whatever it might be as a climbing vine, and you want to wrap around a trellis or something, you can't like really pull and force the vine to like wrap around something. You have to really work with it over time and get it to slowly begin to climb up something. So, enough talking about nerdy plant stuff, but you are pretty much like a plant. So don't force yourself to wrap yourself around something that's just not working for you. You've got another full inhale here and a full exhale. In it for the last breath. In, exhale, draw your knees back through center. Unwind the legs, hug both knees in towards the chest. Maybe you give yourself the biggest hug here, or maybe you want a happy baby to close out your practice. It's your choice. You can take a happy baby grabbing for the outside edges of your feet. You might kick into one leg or the other or both, or you might just stay with knees bending towards the outside of your ribs, or you can stay in this little squeeze, this little ball. This is where we're all going to meet. So taking another round of breath in. And on the exhale, letting your arms and legs take up space for your Shavasana. Just letting everything weigh heavy. Your physical body just rests heavy. Eyes rolling towards the back of your head. As you just lie in stillness, breath returning to normal. Allowing yourself to soak up that bliss that we talked about cultivating Throughout our practice, you've done it. That magical yoga feeling, that bliss, bring it into your heart. And just lay in stillness for a little bit. I'll let you know when it's time to reawaken. If you'd like a longer Shavasana, though, feel free to just lock the screen of your phone and turn this off right now and just continue to rest. If you feel ready to reawaken your body, begin with the breath in and a gentle breath out. Into with a deeper breath in and a bigger breath out. Welcome in small movements into your fingers and your toes, your ankles and your wrists. Reawakening from the stem, top of the flower, all the way down to the roots. Hugging the knees in towards the chest before rocking to your right or left side for fetal position. Remembering that bottom arm is a pillow, top palm is there to press into the earth to kickstand your balance, but also that point of connection with the earth to ground you. And to remind you that Mother Earth is here, it is always beneath your feet. She has your back. She's always resting right there. Take your time to keep your eyes closed as you press your way up to a comfortable cross legged seat. Now, palms can come to rest on your knees or to heart center, your choice. And this is a mudra I've been using a lot lately. We're gonna go for this lotus mudra. So we're gonna keep our pinky and our thumb pressing together, but we're gonna pull apart our pointer finger, our ring finger, and our middle finger apart to make this cup shape like a flower, like a lotus flower. And the lotus blooms in these, it grows from these muddy waters. This beautiful, pristine flower arises from muddy, murky circumstances and water. If there's no mud, there's no lotus. So thinking about how that applies to you, yogis, in your current situation right now. You are able to bloom a beautiful flower out of some of the most cloudy, unappealing circumstances sometimes. Because the seed's already within your heart, it's already there. And you are amazing. You can do it if you put your mind to it, determination behind it. Take a deep breath in, full of love, gratitude, compassion. And a big sigh out. Think about what you would like to fill this beautiful cup of this lotus up with and let it overflow with. So love, compassion, family, Gratitude. Yogis, I'm really grateful for you. I'm grateful that you've brought me into your home today, into your life, and you've let me practice with you. I truly appreciate it, and I hope I get to practice again with you soon in safe, happy circumstances. But until then, stay home and stay safe, yogis, and keep washing those hands for at least 20 seconds. Namaste. Thanks, guys. I'm Christine. Again, I'm Yogi DLT on Apple Music, the playlist today and everything. But also, I just really appreciate you guys tuning in to any Black Swan, yoga flow. These teachers, they've lost their income through not being able to teach in a studio, a physical studio. And, the only way we're really able to keep these yogis going is with these donations that you donate. So any donation you make goes to support the amazing yoga teachers of Black Swan. And it really helps a lot of people pay their bills and make ends meet in these tough circumstances. So we are really grateful for every donation that you're able to make. Please also tell your friends and family about Black Swan Yoga's like online streaming yoga because it's an amazing thing. Even if they can't donate to it, it still brings a great service to them, right? Everybody needs a little bit of peace in their heart, a little bit of love and movement within their physical body, and some healthy exercise too. But yeah, I really appreciate it. And don't forget to donate at blackswanyoga.com. If you're on our website, it's on this page above or below me. I think it's above me. You are on YouTube, just get on to blackswanyoga.com or go to our Instagram page, go to our bio. The link in our bio will take you straight to the page to donate to the Teacher Relief Fund, the Black Swan Teacher Relief Fund. Thank you. Bye, guys. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Enjoy it.